Imagine a man who once spent $2,500 just on rubber bands because he needed them to count his cash, who had his own private zoo with elephants, zebras, and hippos, who owned his own planes and submarines just to ship cocaine into America. When the Colombian government tried to catch him, he offered the judge $1 million in cash and then smiled and said, "If you say no, I know where your family lives." This man was so powerful that the entire Colombian government feared him, so rich that Forbes magazine listed him as one of the 7 wealthiest people on the planet, and so ruthless that over 4,000 people's blood was on his hands. This is the story of Pablo Escobar, a poor boy from the slums, who became the greatest drug lord the world has ever seen. From nothing to notorious 1949, Medellín, Colombia, a tiny village called Rio Negro. This is where Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born. His father, a poor farmer, his mother, a school teacher, one of 7 children. But Pablo was different from the rest. He was the most stubborn, the most ambitious, and the most dangerous dreamer in the room. As a kid, he used to tell his friends, "I will be a millionaire one day, no matter what it takes." And he kept that promise. But the way he kept it, the world had never seen anything like it before. He dropped out of school. He hated being poor. His first hustle, stealing gravestones and reselling them. Then came cigarette smuggling, then stealing cars. Every single job had one thing in common. Pablo was afraid of no one. By the time he was 21, his name was already buzzing through the small gangs of Medellín. Then one day, cocaine entered the picture, and Pablo thought to himself, "This stuff goes straight to America, and America is full of dollars." That was the turning point. The moment a small-time thief transformed into the world's most powerful drug lord, building the empire, late 1970s. The cocaine boom. America was living through the disco era. Parties, glamour, and cocaine was everywhere. And Pablo figured out something no one else had. When the demand is this insane, whoever controls the supply becomes the king. He built the Medellín Cartel, and then began a game that shook the entire world. Pablo moved cocaine from Colombia to America. But how? His own private planes, which he personally purchased, cargo ships, where cocaine was hidden inside fish shipments, submarines. Yes, he had custom-built submarines just for drug smuggling. At his peak, Pablo was making $420 million every single week. So much money that he literally had nowhere to store it all. He once said in an interview, "We spend $2,500 a month just on rubber bands and to hold the cash together." Stacks of notes would rot in his warehouses, eaten by rats before anyone could spend them. He owned 80 private airstrips across Colombia alone. His estate, Hacienda Nápoles, had a personal zoo, hippos, zebras, elephants, a collection of exotic cars, Olympic-sized swimming pools, a private airstrip on the property. This was one man's home, and the world just watched as Pablo kept growing. Blood, power, and the end. But with that much power came that much blood. Pablo's entire rule came down to just 2 words: plata o plomo, silver or lead. Take the bribe or take the bullet. He offered judges $1 million cash. Those who refused were assassinated. Politicians, police officers, journalists, anyone who spoke against Pablo didn't stay alive for long. 1989, he ordered the bombing of Avianca Flight 203. 110 innocent people died, simply because Pablo suspected one of his enemies might be on that plane. The Colombian government trembled before him. But then, America stepped in. The DEA arrived, Special forces deployed. Search Block was formed, a unit created for one purpose only, to bring down Pablo Escobar. Pablo began to run. He hid in jungles. He kept moving from house to house. But on December 2nd, 1993, just one day after his 44th birthday, police surrounded a house in Medellín. A shot was fired. Pablo Escobar, the most powerful drug lord the world had ever known, fell on that rooftop. Forever. After he was gone, Colombia finally breathed again. But his hippos? They're still alive, roaming Colombia's rivers as an invasive species to this day. And Pablo's name? It still echoes across the world.